Hi you guys, welcome back to the channel. So on today's video we are going to be learning how to draft the pattern for a Milkmaid Bustier. If that's something you're interested in, come with me and let's get started. Okay guys, so we're going to first create our shoulder line and we're going to be coming down by 1 inch on this paper. Rule a horizontal line so you know that that's your shoulder line. Next thing we're going to do is create our neckline. So we're going to be doing a 3 by 3 because we're not really going to be needing this neckline as much as you think. So basically we are going to be creating a basic bodice pattern first. Next thing we're going to do is go in and measure our shoulder measurement, divide that by 2 and then come down by 1 inch. That is going to be what our shoulder slope is going to be looking like. So from the neck here, we're just going to go down to where we have our 1 inch marked out for us. So the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be marking out our round sleeve measurement. So my round sleeve measurement or armhole measurement is divided by 2 and that will give me 8. So I'm still going to come down here just because I want good parallel lines. I'm going to come down here and mark our shoulder measurement all over again. So this time around when I'm going down like straight to rule a straight line, everything is correlating. We're going to rule a straight line here, and that is this whole part is going to be considered our round sleeve line. So we're going to come here and divide our round sleeve measurement again. Where you see 2 there, you're going to divide this by 2. So 8 into 2 is 4, and we're going to just mark out 4 like so, and then we're going to come in here by 1/2 inch, in, not out, in, you guys, by 1/2 inch. The next thing we're going to do is to get our vertical measurements in check. So we're going to be doing our shoulder to bust and shoulder to under bust, and then we're going to do the length of the top, and that part is going to be considered your waistline. So I went with 19.5. You can go in by 20. It depends on what you want really. So I went in by 19.5, and I'm going to repeat the same dots on this other side here, and I'm just going to rule a horizontal line across later. We're going to now like label this because labeling is important, and here where we have our round sleeve line, we're just going to stretch that out and that will become our chest line. So on this chest line we're going to measure out our bust measurement divided by 4, and whatever you get, you just want to mark that there. So mine is 10, and so we're going to now create our curved line for our armhole. So we're going to go from where we have our bust line to the 1/2 inch that we made earlier to where we have our shoulder line. So if you don't understand what I just narrated, please watch what I'm doing. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is one of two things. Is either you take your under bust measurement and divide it by 8, or you do your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. So I did the nipple to nipple divided by 2 and I got 4. So we're just going to mark out 4 starting from our bust line down to our waistline. and we're just going to rule a straight line across. That's it. So the next thing we're going to do is come down here. This now depends on you. If you don't want to come down, that's fine by you, but I decided to come down by half an inch. You can go down by 1 inch. That also depends on what you want to do. So we're going to come here and create our dart. I decided to go out by 1 inch on both sides. That would be a 2 inches dart, but you can go out on each part by half of an inch. That will give you 1 inch. So I'm creating a 2 inches dart. You can create a 1 inch dart for yourself if you want. So we're going to be connecting that dot from that point to where we have our half inch out for us, and then we're going to do the same for the other side. So the next thing we're going to do is on the underbust side, we're going to go up by 1 inch, and that will help us create our first curve for our bustier. So we're just going to use a curved ruler, that's our French curve, to make a curve from where we have our dart to where we have our 1 inch. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to try to get the other side of the curve. So this is 4 inches. Remember, your bust divided by 2 is 4. So we're just going to extend that 4 to the other side, starting from where we have our first dot line, and we're just going to connect those lines from that point to that point all the way to the armhole where we have our armhole. So that's done. The next thing we're going to do is take our curved ruler and go from our armhole up to where we have our chest line, just like this, and this is going to be considered our cup. Next thing we're going to do now is take our main measurements. So your bust measurement divided by 4, you're going to mark that out here, and then you're going to do your waist measurement divided by 4 as well and mark that out. You guys, I made the mistake of just ruling my line and forgetting that I had that there, so we're going to redo this. So we're going to do our waist measurement divided by 4, and then we're going to add the dart, which is like a 2 inches dart. See what I'm doing here? Yeah, 2 inches dart, and then we're going to make a point down on the other side and then join the lines together. Now this is perfect. You guys notice that we've not added our sewing allowances yet, so we're going to do that now. I like to use 1.5 sewing allowance. I like to use 1.5 inches sewing allowance, but you can use 2 inches, you can use 1 inch. That solely depends on what you want to use for your allowance, but I'm using 1.5 here. And rule a line here at the armhole side. Next thing we're going to do, you guys, this is everything. This is how simple it is. Next thing we're going to do is cut. You guys, please be careful whilst cutting this and pay close attention so you cut exactly how I cut and there will be no mistakes made. So we're not fully going to cut this because we're going to use this to trace out the back. So here we're just going to, if you have a pin, please pin this down. I don't know where my pins went, but yeah, I'm just going to be using a 1.5 inch for my zipper allowance, and I'm going to mark that here like you see me doing. I'm also going to be ruling a line where we have the center front of our front pattern, just to make sure that I know, okay, this is where the border gets. This is where we're going to literally create a box around this front pattern. So the next thing we're going to do is on the side of the front pattern, we're also going to be ruling a line. Remember, we're creating a box around this thing, so when we place it back, when we remove it and place it back, it fits perfectly, like what I'm doing right now. So the lines are not showing as much, so I had to remove it, and since I already have an idea of where the line is supposed to go, I just ruled the line. So we're putting this back now and see how much it fits into the box that we created for it. Keep in mind, you guys, that one of the boxes is the zipper allowance. So we're just going to go now and trace out the armhole side, and now it depends on how low you want the neckline to be. Me, I wanted mine to be low, so I just turned the curved ruler around and I just made a curve there. The next thing we're going to do is place our front pattern onto the back and trace out the dart. Rule a line across now, just like the first one we did, just like the first dart that we did. We're just going to go down by half an inch or 1 inch, depends on you, and we're going to rule lines across to give our darts definition. Okay, next thing we're going to do now is cut this. We're going to cut this cup side out. Cut as I cut, and please be careful. We're going to separate this because we're going to be needing one part of the cup for our splash and spread method, and this is what it's looking like so far. So you guys, we're going to be doing the splash and spread method, and here I am going to be going out by 1 inch apart from each other, so 1 inch, and I'm just going to rule a straight line. So there's something you need to know. You can do 1.5 inch space, you can give 1.5 inch space, you can give 1 inch space, you can give 2 inches space. That again solely depends on you. I'm going to label this. I'm going to be putting numbers on it, so when I cut, one doesn't fly off and I start looking for it. So I have 8 here. Some people get to have 7, but I get to have 8. I guess that's how big my busts are. So we're going to cut now. And be careful when you're cutting this, you guys. Follow the line as you've drawn them, so you don't have to like recut or like redo anything that's not supposed to be done. So this is what we have, and now we're going to take that and we're going to assemble it on a plain pattern paper. Here we're going to be pinning this down on this plain paper, and we're going to be using 1.5 inch to separate them. You can use 1 inch and you can use 2 inches. Now it's not going to give you as much gathers as 1.5 is. It's going to give you if you use 2 inches, but it again depends on what you want, and it depends on how busty you are. So you guys, the next thing we're going to do is just trace around what we already have pinned down on the plain paper. Just use your free hand and trace it out. It's really simple and it's really easy to do, so just do that. Do exactly what I'm doing right now, and then you just cut afterwards. Okay, you guys, so this is basically everything. The next thing we're going to do is cut this on a main fabric and gather it to fit our cup side of the front pattern, and then this is the back. You guys watch out for the next video because that's where we're going to be sewing this. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and also leave a comment down below. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified when I post a new video. Don't forget to love yourself because I love you. Bye.